Good afternoon, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Talking here. So, everyone, I just want a small. All right. So, I hope I'm audible. I'm Priyanka. So, I will be just giving you a brief introduction about with CTS, what are the questions that they might ask you. But let me share my screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So, if you see here for Cognizant, I hope you all have received the mail. For few, you have an assessment at 5 o'clock, and for few, it is like at 6 o'clock, and for few, it is for 7 o'clock. So here I'm just going to give you a brief thing about like what are the things that are going to be involved here. So here, if you see, here is the pattern. The first one is reading section. So here I have see, I think I can see Amla ma'am students, my students, and Balari ma'am students. So if you remember, we all have taught you one particular session called Versant. Now, similar to that, if you have attended that session, it will be very easy for you to crack this or to pass this assessment. The first one is reading section. Here, you will have to read the sentences a bit louder. If you see 22 questions, and for every section, we have a time limit. I'll explain that later. And this is the first section. And second one is speaking section. Here, this is the most complicated one among all the four because they are going to give you a topic, not just one, they might give you four topics. And for each topic, you have to speak for 1 minute. And there might be a situation where they'll give you a time of 30 seconds where you can prepare for it, at least for 30 seconds, and immediately you can talk. But I'm not sure whether they'll give time or not. So my suggestion is speak immediately. And when they give you a topic, make sure you have a pen, a notepad, and a pen so that if they have given you a time, just to make a rough note. And that is about the speaking section. And here comes the third one, fill in the blanks and MCQs. Here you see 32 questions. So here there might be a chance where they'll just you have to fill the blank or you have to choose from four options. And what are things that they will be covering here? The first one is tenses, and second prepositions, and third one articles, and the fourth one direct to indirect speech or voice. Like it can be active voice or passive voice. That is about the third one. And here comes the last one, which is listening section, where here you are going to listen to an audio of, it can be a comprehension reading or it can be a short story, it can be anything. And based on that, they are going to ask you, they're going to ask you questions and you have to answer them. You have to talk actually. I'll explain everything in detail now. I hope you can see my screen. And let me just a minute. Okay. So as I said, now you have four sections: Part A, Part B, Part C, and Part D. So if you see in section A, you have 23 questions and the duration is 16 minutes. You might think I'll spend some time in section A and I'll not take time for section B. It's not like that. Every section you have a specific time allocated and you have to follow that. And here you see section B for, section C 34 questions and section D 16 questions. And for each section we have a duration and you have to follow that. If you see total questions are 77 and the time duration is 58, which means you have 1 hour. And that is it. Now let me explain in detail what they are going to ask you. So here comes the first one, which is reading. So in this section, you will be presented with 23 statements or audio clips. You will have to read and record the statements of audio clips. So here, when I was teaching, the basic issue what I have faced or what students have faced is the accent. You will not listen to the Indian accent for sure, and the accent would be either British or American. So you should be aware of it, and you have to essay in one go. You can't make the system to repeat, and everything is recorded. If you talk, it is going to record. If you do not talk, even that silence, it is going to record. So do not focus on, like, do not waste the time by focusing on one particular word. Understand the accent. Whatever you listened, just repeat. And this is not listening, it is just reading. So here, I think you're not able to see these sentences, I believe. If you see here comes the first one, reading sentences. Read the following sentences loudly, clearly, and fluently. Here I want you to understand one thing. By any chance, if you have seen comma, full stops, you have to give pause. If you see here, you can't read like, you can't be like an express, you just read fast or too slow. It's not, you have to understand your pace and you have to understand your tone. If you see the first one, he traveled to many countries to explore different cultures. So don't be in a rush. For each sentence, you will have at least 10 seconds. So don't be in a rush to finish the sentence. So here I've just given 4, but you, as I said previously, you will almost see 20 to 22 sentences. You just have to read. This is the easiest among all the 4 because you just need to see and read. I hope I'm clear. If it is clear, just give a thumbs up, or you can see, if you raise a hand, I understand that, or you can talk. Okay, okay, okay. Thank you. So this is part A. And here comes the part B. As I said, so dear students, please focus here. This is the toughest. I'm just being open. So here they will give you a topic. I mean, it's toughest in the sense I'm not scaring you here. If it would be easy if you have good managing power, because it's all about managing. There you will not, if you see here in this section, you will be given 3 topics on which you need to speak for 1 minute. For each topic, you will get 30 seconds to think, after which your response will start getting recorded. So if it would be really great if you have 30 seconds, but what I have, when I was doing some research in few videos, they were saying you might not have 30 seconds. So don't rely, okay, I have 30 seconds, I can use ChatGPT, I can ask it, it will give me some input, I will talk. So the complete process, if you do, it might be, you are wasting your time here. If you're really expert, it is completely fine. But if not, please understand the topic, prepare genuinely, and if you can, as if you have 30 seconds, you have a book, as I told, just take a rough paper or whatever it is, write some bullet points, a rough note, whatever you want to talk. Based on that, once the timer gets started, once it starts getting recorded, start talking. If you do not have a point, what happens is you have to speak for 1 minute. And if you have hardly 1 or 2 points, you can't speak for a minute. What do you do at that point? Elaborate the single point. If you are confident in you have 2 points in your mind, elaborate that. Expand about it, so that you, like, if you explain more about it, what happens, somehow you can go till 40-50 seconds. So what I would recommend is at least have 5 to 6 points, so that when you talk, at least you can speak 4 to 5 points. And yes, so what kind of questions that you might get? Here, if you see 4 questions, you have 2 options. I mean, they'll give any of them. If you see here, these 3 are straightforward questions. Favorite sports, trending technology, what is your favorite kind of music? All these, they're not giving any options. Just tell me your favorite music. You can elaborate that. Trending technology, if you have learned any trending technology or how it will be useful in the future, what not, imagine and talk. If you have learned, if you have experience, you can talk it about your life or something about the future, anything, it doesn't matter, but you have to speak for 1 minute. Here, most of you have this doubt. I might speak, I have so many grammar issues. What if I speak in that way? No problem, guys. Because even if you have grammar issue, like you might not be fluent, it's completely okay. Be confident, be louder and clear. That is very important. Make sure you're in the silent place, no one is disturbing you. You are audible and clear. That is it. Be confident. As I always say, grammar is the least thing that you can worry about. Just be confident. Why am I repeating this? If you have any kind of insecurity, like what if I speak all, or what if I speak blunder, that is okay. Just be confident, and that is more than enough. Now, as I said, two options. The first is straight questions. Here are these examples for this. But if you see here, these are some examples. If you want, you can take a screenshot or you can take a picture. Now, most probably you'll get these kind of questions. If you see the first one, if you could invent something new, what would it be? You can talk about anything in that case. Now, if you see the second one, what are the advantages of reading books over watching movies? As I told previously, they are going to put in two situations. Here you can talk about what is better. If you see here, you have to say advantages of reading books rather than watching movies. So you can talk about all the negative things of watching movies, and if you read books, what are the advantages you get? So if they give these kind of questions, you can speak more. And third one, how would you define success? So everyone has different opinion on success. Now, what is success in your life according to you? So for few, it is like healthy work-life balance, and for few, it is like living a peaceful life, and for few, it is maybe a work-life balance, or it can be when you're loving what you do. If you love what you do, that is success. And for few, it depends. So just focus on that. And if you see the fourth one, what are your thoughts on the impact of social media on communication? It's not about social media, it's about social media on communication. So, and if you see the fifth one, if you had the chance to live in any country, which one would you choose and why? So here, any country you have good idea about it, pick that country and say all the advantages, disadvantages, I mean obviously advantages, and elaborate. And sixth one, how would you explain the importance of healthy eating habits? So for my students, I have asked a question like extempore. When I conducted extempore, I have asked questions on spot, those kind of questions. And seventh one, what would you do if you found a lost wallet? So please remember that any questions they ask you, it's kind of MR question. They will put you in a situation. What would you do if this happened to you? So almost every question is like this. So they might ask you a question like this, or if you see here, what is your favorite sport? What is your favorite kind of music? Or what is your achievement? Or what is your memorable day? Or tell me one difficult situation that you've ever faced in your life and how you handled it. Any question. And as I said, you have 30 seconds. In that 30 seconds, have a quick review of it and just speak. And a few questions I want you to prepare in this meantime about your hometown. They might ask you memorable day, as you just said, and your difficult situation. What is success according to you? So these kind of questions that will help you. So, and this is about speaking, and it is you have enough time. And if I suggest you to sit on this, give yourself a question. If you have a friend with you, talk to her, ask her to give you a topic and talk in front of her, or do a self learning, because this is a, if by any chance if it is elimination round, this is the major criteria which they're going to check, not grammar. As I again saying, I'm just saying again. So don't focus on the grammar, be confident, speak for 1 minute. That is something I want to say. So I'm stressing, I'm emphasizing. That's because by any chance, if you stop talking, even your silence would get recorded. So try to speak for 1 minute until you listen to the beep sound. That beep indicates you are done. And after, if whatever you speak, it is not going to get recorded. And this is about part B, which is speaking. Do you have any doubts? Okay. Please raise your hands if you have understood. Okay, thank you. So this is about part B, and now comes the part C, which is grammar. So by any chance, if you have ever, like if you're trying to understand grammar in this 1 or 2 hours, please don't do that, because it is not going to be happening. As I said, grammar is not just about learning tenses or learning verbs or learning articles. It's a combination of so many things. If you have a PPT, you can just refer them or understand. Just use basic common sense and you are done. So if you see tenses, all the 12 tenses, you have to focus on them, and verbs. Verbs and tenses are really like interlinked. If if you know tenses, obviously if you know verbs, you can give all the correct options for tenses. And then comes articles. A and the and no article. When do we use all of them? And then comes active voice and passive voice. So it's like changing the voice, like how we change from direct to indirect, indirect to direct in the same way. We will change. I'll give you some examples for that. Don't worry about it. And then comes prepositions. So they are going to focus on few things. Again, if I have any questions, I'll explain you that also. And fill in the blanks. It's again fill in the blanks. What are the things they're going to ask you? It's again same. They tenses, verbs, and all. Okay, if you see here the question, I hope you are able to see. She read dash interesting book last night. So this is about articles. Now, what do you think the answer might be? Any idea? Is this chat option? Okay. I can see now. Very good. Why are you not talking? It would be easy for me. Okay, so she read an important book, interesting book last night, and you are correct. It's obviously about the vowel sound, and that's it. And if you see here, change the following voice from active, I mean, following sentence from active voice to passive voice. Krishna will sing a song today. Now, this is in the active voice, and you have to be changing to passive voice. So, a song will be sung by Krishna today. A song was sung by Krishna today. A song will be being sung by Krishna today. A song would be sung by Krishna today. So, basically, what is do you know simple logic? Let me explain you before I ask you the question. You know the subject. If you see here, the Krishna will sing a song today. Now, Krishna is a subject. Now, what is an object? Song. This is an object. You will just interchange. You will swap. That is it about active and passive. Now, if the sentence, if you see here, again, we have a small touch of tenses. Here it is will sing, which means in the future. Now, if you see here, was. So, was is in the past. So, this cannot be the answer. So what can be the answer? Let me check your answer if you have a variations, if you have typed or no. So what do you think the answer can be? So when this direct, indirect or active passive, will would change to would. So a song would be sung by Krishna today. So there are so many questions you have to understand, and you might get questions like that. And let's move forward. And here comes verbs. Fill in the blank using the correct form of verb. Now, every sentence has a keyword and you have to understand the keyword. I'll tell the keyword for this. The teacher dash the topic before the students asked questions. This is not that easy. If you see, there are no options also. They just gave explain and you have to change by adding something here. What do you think the answer can be? Okay, most of you think the answer can be explained. But let me explain you here. Oh, if the question is this to the teacher dash explain the topic, that's it. And we do not have something like before the students ask the questions. If that is not mentioned, you all are correct. The teacher explained the topic, you are correct. But if you see the complete sentence, here we have two sentences. What are those? The student explained the topic. This is one sentence. The students asked question. This is one more sentence. When there are two sentences here, it is basically past perfect. So when there are two actions happened, first action will be said in past perfect. So students asked questions. The teacher explained the topic. Among these two, which action happened first? And so the answer is the teacher had explained the topic. So this is past perfect. We have to add that. Now this is very simple. They dash football every weekend. This is a habit. So what do you think the answer can be? Okay, good, Joshna, that is correct. Had explained. So what is the answer for this? They dash football every weekend. Now every weekend is a hobby. So this is simple present. So what can be the answer? They play. That is correct. Very good. They play. Because here it is not the singular. Now what if the same question is in he, she, it? Then we say plays. And then comes the third one. He dash his homework yet. Now yet is a keyword. So what can be the answer for this? Has not. Correct. Has not finished because yet indicates it is present perfect. And last one. Now, why I have added this one is because it's very important. This is imaginary. If I dash you, I would accept the offer. So these examples are imaginary. So what would be the answer? Hasn't? Yeah, before it was correct. Were, okay. Harsha. Were again, good. But that's it. Very good. So if I were you, because it is imaginary, so if I were you, I would accept the offer. If I were you, I would have done that. If I were you, I would have not done that, whatever. So all these are imaginary, so answer could be were. Okay. Now these kind of questions, if they might ask you if it is verb forms. Now if you see here, are you able to see the question? Wait a minute. I'm not able to. So choose the correct form of the verb again. Now here I have given you options. She dash to market every Sunday. You got the answer. She goes because it is third person singular. Now what about this? By the time you arrive, I dash complete. Sorry, I dash my homework. What could be the answer? You might have thought I will finish, but by the time you arrive, let me say in Telugu, ఈ టైంకి అలా ఇది చేసి ఉంటాను. So by the time you arrive, I will finish is not the correct one. I will have finished. That is correct. Good. Again, this is again imaginary. If I dash enough money, I would travel the world. This is again imaginary. So you cannot say if I have money. If I had. If I will have is also not correct because this is imaginary. Remember, just remember. Now, why am I insisting on these two questions? All the imaginary questions we should not say have or has. Or same thing, was we should not say. If I were you, if I were her. In the same way, if I had enough money, we cannot say if I will have enough. I will have means you will have for sure in the future. If I had, this is imaginary. So if I had money, I would travel the world. All these are imaginary, so you have to go with had. Now, similar to the second one. By next year, she dash her degree. Again, future perfect, so she will have completed. So why they focus more on tenses? Because most of the questions you will get in tenses. So I just covered few, and this will not be enough for sure. Please understand the complete sentence, understand the keyword, and then you'll get the answer. Okay, so now what about articles? I know I just covered few. Let's see if you can say this is where the okay, I told the answer, I guess. Dash book on the table is mine. Okay, very good. That's correct. Shravanti, Karthik, Sai, Pavan. Okay. So the book on the table is mine. That's because you are specifically mentioning. So it is the book. Now what about this? He wants to become dash engineer. You know it is very simple. It's an engineer. That's correct. We need to talk about dash important issue. Few people think too much, and the answer might be so you might think the answer might be the, but again, I'm not mentioning what kind of issue it is. So we need to talk about an important issue. Okay. Now here comes the main one. You have four options here. Read out all the four. Do you think which one is correct? Among these, only one is correct. Just mention the alphabet A, B, C, D. You are correct. They play football because football is again a game. We cannot use any article. Okay. So here comes With this, we are done with section C also. So it's all about tenses, grammar, whatnot, everything. So do you have any doubts with this? If no, please raise your hands. I mean, sorry, just give a heads up. Okay, okay. Now here comes the last one, which is uh, question and answers. So this is not that tough compared to the speaking skills. Okay, so here comes the last one. And you will be having, if you see here, 16 questions. Now, this might be a confusing thing for so many people because what are they going to talk and what am I going to repeat? It's not, it's if you see here, the first one, just listening and talking. When you listen, what kind of things that you listen? Like, is it a sentences or do you listen to the passage or do you listen to a story? What are something that you are going to listen? Let me make it simple. In this section, you will be presented with an audio clips and questions based on the audio clips. You are given 15 minutes to answer or to complete all the questions. So, what kind of questions, what kind of audios that you're going to listen? So it would be not like an essay writing, I mean, not like a paragraph. Hardly they will, you are going to listen a small story, or it can be an importance of communication or importance about some person or important about anything. It can be anything. Now, once you listen to that, they are going to ask you questions based on that passage or that comprehension. So again, here I want to focus on two things: the accent. Again, you are not going to listen to the Indian accent. It's system based, and you are going to listen to American or British accent, and you have to understand that. So simple tip: make a note. What, for example, if they are talking about one person, write about him. What does he do? Whatever. Just make a rough note about it. You have to have a piece of paper and a pen because it will help you. When they talk, you can simultaneously write. Now, for example, if you see here, you can see here, what are Akash hobbies? Now, what is this? Imagine they have said a small story about Akash. Now, Akash would do that, this, whatever it is. Now, if you see there are three, here again, you might think that you might get options, you might not get options. If you see reading, listen to music and cooking, reading, listen to music and painting, traveling and cooking. Now, how do you know which one would be correct after listen to the story? Based on that, you have to go with an option, or they might ask you to talk about it. Now, what are Akash hobbies? You have to talk about it. So it is like that. Now here they might make you listen to one or two or three stories. It depends. But questions are 16, and you will have 15 minutes. 15 minutes to answer all of them. So this is about the last section. Now I just repeat. Now the questions can be anything. The passage. They might make you to listen to a short one or a lengthier one. We never know. Maybe it's a combination of both of them. Be a good listener. Rather, don't be in a rush to talk. First, listen to the question. Then you can talk. And everything is automated. You can't operate. Now I will talk. Let me click on record button. Now I will record. No, everything is automated, and you can't stop and you can't give a pause. And everything happens just in one go. So if you want to repeat what they said, you can't do. And if you want to re-record, even that is not going to be happening. So be alert, and that's it. With this, you can click on the submit button and you're done. Now this complete assessment will take almost 1 hour. Make sure you are in the quiet place. So before, for example, you have the assessment by 5 o'clock. Make sure you are ready by 4:50 at least. So that any issue you have, it can be internet issue, it can be charging issue, it can be any system issue, you can clear in this meantime. So with this, I'm done from my end. These are the 4 sections. Did you get any? Did you understand what I told about the last section, the last part? Can we use pen? Yes, you can use. You can use pen, paper, anything. Obviously, because you can make a rough note. It's not like you will write very neatly. You will not have enough time. That is for reference. It doesn't mean it might think like you're copying or something like that. No, you can make a rough note and you can just understand, and you can talk. Make sure you look at the camera whenever you talk, because if you don't look at that, they might think, okay, you're just reading from somewhere else. Okay. If you have any doubts, you can drop a message also. I'm completely okay. Because within 2 or 3 minutes, Apti's like several register is ready here. Once I'm done from my end, if you have any doubts, I will clarify that. And he will also explain what kind of questions you will get from Apti. I think you have an Apti exam tomorrow, but still he is going to give you a brief information about it. So I hope you have no questions. If yes, please shoot out to me and I will explain them. Not one word, it is in the full sentence. You have to explain the full sentence because, see, for example, if they ask you, if I have just shown you something called what Akash does, Akash plays the complete sentence. It's not about one word. You have to explain full sentence. Please make a practice of that. For example, the concept is about social media. He explained it. You have listened to so many things, how it's impacting people and all. You can't answer in one word. How is it impacting until you have to explain everything in detail. So never answer in one word. Okay. All right. Any other doubts? Can we use pen and paper? You can use. See, that when you're using pen or paper, that should be like a rough, like just for your understanding. You can quickly write and see, you'll not have enough time to write, first of all. You will hardly have seconds, few seconds, like it can be 5 or 6 seconds. What will you write? But when I'm saying to write, that is for your understanding purpose. That's it. Any other doubts? I told. Okay, just raise your hands, guys, if you are done, if you have understood, so that I will wind up. Okay, thank you. So all the best, everyone. Do well, and I'll be available in the institute till 5:30. By any chance, if you need any assistance, I'm happy to help you. So I hope you'll do well. All the best. We have Happy sir is waiting here, so I hope please stay on the call. He'll just guide you. Thank you.